be.
Forgive us, ladies and gentlemen, while we're trying to work this out. What we're trying to do here is give you clean audio, and what you're getting is 50% clean audio and 50% not so much.
The microphone is plugged directly into my phone. I do not know how or if it is doing anything.
All right. Well, on this one particular thing that we're working on, the Riverside FM, your levels look good. When I go to Audacity, where we do the recording itself, your levels are better.
Okay. Well, then I've plugged it directly in. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
My phone and the microphone.
I don't know if plugging it directly in while you're already connected with the ear pods, does it default? I don't think so. I think we're still getting ePod microphones. Something changed there for a second very loudly.
How is that?
Not matching up with your face, but say something.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Yeah, well, you're you're right where you were, so.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The T-Bone.
And Chick Brew.
Let's God bless. All these years, just get it right one time.
What do you want from me?
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. And now you can say, you're fired.
Okay. No one listens to radio.
And now for a quick disclaimer. The T-Bone
And Chick Brew.
show is brought to you by nobody. We have no sponsors.
The show is still rated G.
For Glorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you are tech wizards and you want to try to help us figure this out, we are doing something different, and our virtual producer would be useful in this situation, but she is not available, and that's not her fault. It's our fault. We don't pay her, number one. Number two, we never tell her when we're recording, mainly because only one of us ever knows when we're recording and everybody else is reactionary to that one person. You
It's
can
me.
You can guess who that is, but it ain't me.
Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
Hey, let me ask you, when's the last time you had to deal with one of those weird work situations where people are talking behind your back and then it gets back to you and you're disappointed because you thought you may have had a connection or some type of friendship with this person, but then you realize that they're a two-faced lion. Yeah. When's the last time you had a situation like that?
Honestly, probably not since you know who.
I don't know who.
From good old Rhoda days back then. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I also don't really... I have, like, a good friend at work, but we have a small office. We don't really, there's not a lot of goss, It's small. And they can talk about me behind my back, and if it got back to me, guess what? It wouldn't mean anything because I still get paid.
Yeah, it means nothing other than the fact that I'm disappointed.
That's just one less person that you have to smile at.
Yeah, I don't have to smile at anybody. I'm fully aware of that. I am one of those people who I know who the people are in my circle, and I'm not afraid to let people into my circle, but I will kick you out of my circle with a quickness. I have no desire for any of that BS. I'm too old to be dealing with stuff like that. So when I hear in my work environment that someone that I thought was cool is out there talking smack about me, I'm like, that's disappointing.
And that's it. It's just disappointing.
It is. I was never going to invite you into my house to begin with. I never would have accepted an invitation into your house. So, it was just a work relationship, and that's all it was ever going to be. But it disappointingly went the wrong way. Anyway, I was just curious if you had any of that stuff going on in your life, because
I'm sure people talk about me all the time. Just kidding. I'm not that important. So
I'd like to believe.
Be like, you were a strong enough taste to be talked about.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Because I was filling a role, okay? So when I was on active duty in the United States Navy as a senior chief petty officer, there was a perception of what I needed to be. I needed to be mean and angry, and I needed to be an enforcer of the rules and the regulations. I wasn't there to be anybody's friend. I was there to set an example and to make an example and to grow sailors into being them, better versions of themselves. But somewhere along the way, that version of a senior enlisted leader became out of fashion. And this new version of senior enlisted people were people who would hug you and would lie to you and tell you you're doing great, even when you weren't, and would give you bad advice if it made them look better. And I don't know, the times they are a-changin' is a phrase we've heard once or twice, but times have always changed. As a younger man on active duty, I kind of enjoyed talking to the old retirees, and all the old retirees would say the same thing. I knew I had to get out because the kids they were bringing in, they were just a bunch of hippies or they were just a bunch of slackers. They always hated the kids that were coming in 20 years behind them. And then I found
because people are always going to get old and they're going to cycle out and they're going to be a little bitter about it. But, make way for the other old people to come in and say stupid things like, it's the way we've always done it.
Well, the challenge, what helped me through the challenge was when I realized the senior enlisted people I was now training were by definition millennials. And it became harder and harder. It's not that I can't understand somebody else's viewpoint. It's not that I couldn't have softened my persona, because once I became a civilian, I absolutely softened it. I didn't need to yell at anybody anymore. I didn't use profane language anymore. It's like, hey, this is what you need to do. And if you don't do it, you'll suffer the ramifications. But I'm not the one given the ramifications anymore. That's for somebody else to do. And it wasn't my responsibility to grow these sailors. Even though during my transition period, I became a civilian. So in the first 5 years of my being a civilian, I was still trying to help sailors and still teaching them to do their job and to be the best that they could be. But, one too many times, somebody didn't like the way I said something or didn't like the way I did something, and they reported me to the chain of command. And the last time that happened, I said, you know what? They're on their own. I might have a wealth of knowledge that I can share with these sailors to make them better at their job, but I've been kicked in the Ga-Goo-Lees one too many times, and I'm not going to do it anymore. Speaking of Ga-Goo-Lees, which is a great word. We've always had Ga-Goo-Lees in my family, and a lot of times you get kicked in the Ga-Goo-Lees. It happens. But as I say this word Ga-Goo-Lees, I can only think about the Taney children.
That's terrifying.
Only because I can see the Taney children looking at their father and going, hey, Pops, what are Ga-Goo-Lees? What's Ga-Goo-Lees mean? and that tickles me to no end. But the reason they're on my mind is I got a get well card today. Now, granted, it was a little late. I'm not taking off points because I didn't get very many get well cards through my recent issue, but I did get a get well card. And the get well card was, I wish I would have brought it home. I didn't know we were recording tonight when I was packing up to leave.
I told you.
Shut up. Let me tell the lie, okay? I just left it on the desk.
No.
Shut up.
Think that
I left it on the desk. I'm sorry.
Fairy floating around, body dying. And while that's
I didn't commit it to memory, but I think it was like, I think the card said, I hope you feel less crappy. And I thought that was a great way to start the card. I hope this card makes you feel less crappy. And I'm paraphrasing. It may not be word for word. And then the next part, and if it doesn't, you can use it to give people you don't like paper cuts. And I was like, this is a forward-thinking family. This family has got it together. They are training their children at an early age. Hey, try your best, and if that doesn't fail, have a backup plan. I hope the card makes you feel less crappy, but if it doesn't, turn it into a shank and shiv somebody.
I read a book a while back. This girl becomes this wizard master of paper type thing or whatever, but that's how she kills people.
With paper.
Death by paper cuts. And to be honest, I've never been more terrified of
Death by
the
paper
hero of the
cuts.
story in my entire life.
I feel like this is something my daughter's read along the way. That or suicide notes. I don't know. They've a bunch of quirky stuff that I was like, okay, whatever. You want to do anime? Anime's fine. God. I've been going back and forth to the shooting range all week, doing a lot of outdoors work in cold temperatures. But some of the joy that I've gotten has been driving back to the base, and we passed this one billboard that gives us the entire rundown of the local strip club, Savannah's. And Savannah's is not only got a male review coming, yay, and they've got their
back to work, are you?
and they got their amateur night, which is always fun. But now Savannah's, the strip club here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, they've got a goth night coming.
Oh,
I have never been less interested in seeing a naked woman than imagining what a goth stripper looks like. I can't possibly see where that would be exciting in any way, shape, or form.
I love how you thought Ga-Goo-Lees was going to be the question that would be asked. Now you got to explain the male review. Mr. Taney's going to have his work cut out for him with this episode.
Ga-Goo-Lees. Hey, did you know with our new host Anchor that our guest, instead of using the hotline, which by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the hotline only has like 3 weeks left, and if you haven't made a comment on the hotline, well, heck, I guess we should give you a reminder of how you can.
It's the T-Bone and Shit Grill Hotline.
You used to call me on my
904-385-3977.
You used to.
It's the T-Bone and Shit Grill Hotline.
They did such a great job with that. The hotline is going away, but we'll come up with another ad or way of communicating the fact that now with Anchor FM, you can go on there and leave your voice messages. So if you subscribe to us through the Anchor FM thing, I'll put the link on the website. You can subscribe to that. It'll give you notifications. We're available on all other platforms, and there are some platforms out there that haven't caught up to the switch that we made at the beginning of 2023 to leave Buzzsprout and to join the revolution. Join the revolution here at anchor.fm. But we're still available on Apple and Google and Spotify and all of the other places you can find us. But only on this particular host can you leave voice messages on the page. Of course, you can always leave your swarmy comments on the Facebook page, and you can find us on Facebook by simply searching the hashtag LUNSB. That's Lunsby, and if you know, you know. I was getting a vanity tag, and then I wasn't getting a vanity tag because situations change. Life is fluid, things change. I was going to get a vanity tag, and then the possibility of me not being here anymore meant I might have had to get a tag in a different place. And it looks like I'm going to be staying. Looks like I'm going to be staying here, but in a different capacity. And now I'm going to get that vanity tag. So a lot of strange things happening in my world, but for the grace of God go I. What's that?
You're so vague.
Intentionally vague. In that the genie's not out of the bottle right now. A lot of people don't know what's going on. And not that a lot of people need to know what's going on, but there are some people who listen to the show who know me and know what I do and know where I work and know that situation is not optimal. And looks like that situation's getting ready to change for the better. Not necessarily for the best, because there was another option out there that could have been the best. But who knows? You never know.
Not me.
You never know from one situation.
That's why I said, so I've got that going for me. I never know. And I can't ask you because this is the only time we talk.
But you should take comfort in knowing that during the course of our recordings, eventually you will find out what's going on.
I'm your best friend.
How sad is that? Yeah. No, I would say you're probably, I mean, because I don't have this relationship with anybody else. I don't talk to anybody else other than my wife this much. Well, I don't talk to my wife this much. I don't get to talk this much. With you and the show, I get to talk, and you get to talk, and we talk. With the wife, the woman I have committed the rest of my existence to, I get to answer questions. I come home to the daily interrogation, and I suffer through the daily interrogation, and then occasionally I get a couple of words in. But at the end, I do get to tell her I love her, and she gives me a hug, and she makes me feel good. So she got that going for her.
It's me. I'm the one who's left.
Yes, you got my brain. She's got my body. That's how twisted this has become. Hey, what are your thoughts on medical tourism? I think there's another phrase for it.
Healthcare holidays.
Healthcare holidays. If you were going to have something done, where would you go?
Man, I just have to go to Marbella. It's a day trip.
Are they doing a lot of medical procedures in Marbella these days?
Marbella is one of the plastic surgery spots.
Wow.
Let's go there. A lot of people from Saudi Arabia, Bahrain. That's where the big money's spent.
In Marbella?
On the beach. Yeah, man.
Yes, but it's expensive. So a lot of people who do medical tourism are going to countries...
It's cheaper than in the States.
Countries that are cheaper... Of course, the healthcare is cheaper, but the cost of living there is cheaper so that you can, go to a third world country, find yourself in a nice spot in that third world country, get the medical care that you want, and then go back to the States, which I believe is what led to the recent incident in the border town of Mexico, where the woman was going to Mexico to get some...
tummy tuck.
A tummy tuck. And unfortunately, they were...
Wrong place, wrong time.
Definitely wrong place, definitely wrong time. But, times they are a-changing. The cartel, in an act of goodwill, thought it would be...
They got a PAO down there, that's all I have to say.
Thought it would be a real good idea to wrap up all the guys that were responsible for the murders and the kidnappings and deliver them to the local policia with a little penalty flag, with a little note that said, lo siento, we fucked up.
I mean, that sounds like a Navy Public Affairs officer touched it.
Oh.
Chef's kiss.
Because it happens more than that. It happens more often. There was an entire Amish family or Mormon family. I mean, like 3 vans of family members that live out in a compound in the middle of nowhere, Mexico, and they were murdered by the cartel. But because they're a weird religion, it didn't really make the news cycle. And of course, nobody got an apology letter like, oh, lo siento. Lo siento, for those who know habla, that is I'm sorry in Spanish. I don't know many, many words in Spanish, but lo siento is one I learned quite quickly.
Say it all the time.
Lo siento.
I mean, I don't, there are places I just won't go, period, because I'm not built for survival. I know this about myself. Like, I'm not going to go to certain parts of Mexico because I'll die. I'll forget. I'll drink the water. It'll be all bad.
I know how fantastic the plastic surgery game is in Seoul, Korea, and I lived in Seoul for a long time, and I knew that they did a lot of plastic surgery there, and I knew they were very, very good at plastic surgery because all of the most attractive Korean women have all been plastic surgeryed, and they all had the same procedures, and they all looked the same. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, I need to get me some of this plastic surgeries. But I was terrified in the fact that they wouldn't know how to treat a white monster like me. Like they wouldn't. If the plastic surgeon has been doing tiny little Asian women and converting them into Asian supermodels, and then I show up at his door, he doesn't have any practice. He has no practice whatsoever. He is a coach of an NFL team, and I'm in the pool cool with the doing the butterfly. He has no idea how he's going to treat me and make me beautiful. I actually don't know what he could do to make me.
Getting to get me.
I have some lips. That'd be cool. I'm looking at old video of my friend Bruce Baum, a very famous, iconic comedian. When you see Bruce, you know Bruce. And I'm very fortunate over the years to become friends with Bruce. And every once in a while, somebody posts something on the Facebooks and it's old videos of Bruce. And I'm like, I know this guy. But he has the face he had in the 80s. He still got the face, but he doesn't have the flowing locks like he used to have. But he's iconic. You see him and you know exactly who he is. I would like surgery to make my face less normal. You know, not Abby normal. I don't want the freaky weird tongue and the eyeball tattoos, and I don't want to go in that way. But
I think that would suit you.
I'm just pretty sure that if I was in a lineup with 6 other white guys, I'm probably going to be picked because I don't really stand out as much as I would like.
And you'll probably be wearing a purple shirt, so...
Yes, the dimple does help. The dimple helps and purple helps, but, you know, just...
Because, they'd be like, oh, no, the guy definitely didn't look like Barney. So if you're wearing the purple shirt, you're automatically out. Now, unless you did it, and they'd be like, the guy was definitely dressed like Barney, then you're done.
Well, I'm not committing a crime wearing a purple shirt. Once upon a time in Charleston, South Carolina, a guy robbed a bank and his getaway car was a 1971 canary yellow El Camino.
Perfect. Don't you remember when LA Lights were all the rage back in the day? And they're like, and we just followed his shoes.
Yeah, because I was in the drug dealer busting games when LA Lights were a thing. So they were very helpful in the nighttime.
Or all the people who commit crimes now and then drive off in a Tesla like the car is not one giant tracking device. What? Why would you do that?
I haven't seen a lot of criminals using Teslas. The only criminal activity I've seen with a Tesla so far is the one that jumps the street. Yeah.
No, there was actually an article earlier this week. These people stole a Tesla. And they stole the key card, and for some reason that person hadn't set up their car to require a PIN number to start. So they take off in the car, but then they stop to charge it 3 miles down the road. What?
If it requires a PIN number to start, you're saying that they were able to successfully guess the PIN number, or they hacked the PIN number?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to have a PIN to start the car.
But can you set it up so that you have to have a PIN?
Yeah.
And he didn't have that.
He didn't have that set up. It's a delightful layer of security. Why would you not?
Right. Well, this is the kind of clown that has a pin on his phone, but not on his car.
Right. I have a pin on my car.
I would have a pin on my car, a pin on my phone. I would have a pin everywhere. I would have a pin or a thumbprint or an eyeball or something that stops somebody. You know, there's going to come a time when people don't remember what protected by Viper means. Stand back, protected by Viper.
Please step away from the vehicle. Do you know that Spain doesn't have that siren on their police cars anymore?
Which one?
On their emergency vehicles, it's not the beedo, beedo, beedo. It's a regular American siren now.
Spain has always used American sirens. But it's a selector switch in the car. They can change it to a different sound.
Well, they don't use that other sound at all anymore, and it is tragic.
It is hilarious because in Italy, the Italian children, we patrolled out in town with American police cars that had American sirens on them, and our ambulances ran code with American sirens. So the Italian children were always fascinated to hear the American siren instead of the Italian siren. And they would always talk to me about it, we heard that this was going on because of the American siren, and it was very exciting for them. I was like,
I knew you were coming.
But we also had the option of switching it to the European siren, so loud stealth mode, if you will. Hey, there's a segment that I really want to get into, so why wait?
It's time to talk about cooking.
And tonight proved one thing. You know
I want to know what you're up to, and then we need to talk about what I want to do next.
Uh-oh.
Yes. It's St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. Are you doing any special St. Patty's Day menus?
No, this week I actually am volunteering my time doing all the baked goods for the bake sale for the soccer team. Because I've been doing my volunteer hours over at the school with the soccer team.
Would you stop calling them volunteer hours and start calling it community service? It makes you sound a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing my community service this weekend. What are you doing? Baking cookies.
Basically. Yeah.
But they're really hardcore cookies. These are
hardcore cookies. Yeah, they have dark chocolate chips and butterscotch chips in them.
I use 2 kinds of butter. That's how I roll.
Big deal. So many cookies, literally.
So what is your specific contribution to your community service?
This week,
yeah.
I'm doing 2 dozen cupcakes, 75 cookies, and 3 pans of brownies.
Wow.
And I got a cake for a birthday for a lady out here that just happens to be the same day. So I got to knock that out. And that is a lemon cake with raspberry filling. And it is going to be beautiful.
And you're doing all of this with one a Spanish oven. That's a lot of baking.
It is. Because you can only put 1 tray in at a time.
Right. Why are you doing so much?
Well, some of it is really good money.
Oh, I thought all of this was for your community service.
Well, not the cake. The cake that's paid.
Okay.
Everything else is community service.
Yeah, that's a lot. Why couldn't you just I'll do the brownies or I'll do the cookies and let the other people do stuff?
Because I'm already going to be doing stuff.
It's too much. You need to dial it back a little bit. It's too much. It's too much community service. You're too hardcore.
You sound like my wife.
Hey, let's get right on into what I want to talk about. Brazilian cheese bread. How do I make it?
I don't know. What is that?
So I come across a recipe on the Facebooks, and it's from one of the Brazilian steakhouse places where you have to surrender or else they feed you to death. The chacharias or whatever it's called. You know, the one with the surrender flag.
I've never been. I don't know what you're talking about.
With the cinnamon pineapple baked. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. The Boca de Beppo, not the Boca de Beppo, the Fica de Aqua, I don't know. There's these Brazilian steakhouses that you go to, and they will come to your table and they will carve fresh meat onto your plate until you surrender. They just keep coming with different styles of meat. The one in Lisbon, Portugal, I think there were 12 different types of meat that you got, and I tried all of them. Twice. That was delicious. I mean, they come to your plate and they carve off a little bit for you and you taste it. And then the next guy comes around. You know, you're tasting and testing. But boy, these things are delicious.
Ooh, this bread looks delicious.
And this Brazilian cheese bread apparently is really easy to make.
Yeah, 30 minutes. 80 calories.
Right. And there's a fluff factor to it.
Yeah. What? Egg, olive oil, milk, tapioca starch. Oh, are these gluten-free?
I'm going to say yes. Yes, they're gluten-free. So why don't we screw with the community service people instead of making fudge? Just make a pan of Brazilian cheese bread, learn how to make it, share the recipe with us. Because, you know, I got family coming soon, and and there's no Brazilian steakhouse anywhere nearby. I think the nearest one is Philadelphia.
I think you can make these.
I think I can make these. But I want my chef friend to make them first and then tell me how to make them so that when I fail, we have content.
I unfortunately can't. Well, I can make them, but I can't eat them and tell you if they came out good because I can't eat some of the stuff that's in here right now.
Like what?
I can't have any cheese.
Well, we'll call it Brazilian formaggio bread. Now there's no cheese in it. You're good to go.
2 baking sheets, parchment foil, silicone, and a medium saucepan.
Okay, you reading recipes is not quality content. Hey, do you have any headlines for me?
I do. Sorry, they are easy. I think you should make it first.
We'll see.
And now it is time for headlines from around the globe.
And you got the headline for me, right?
Yes. Berlin to let everyone go topless at public swimming pools.
Berlin to let everyone go topless at public swimming pools. There, unless this is Berlin, Mississippi, or Berlin, Texas, or Berlin, Pennsylvania, this is not a. There is nothing to this headline. If there's one nationality I have seen naked more than any other nationality, it is das Germans. The Germans even have a saying that says, if there is a body of water around, expect to see naked Germans, because they are always naked, always near water. And it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. And they're not attractive people. The naked people that you see are not attractive people. It's not like the supermodels of Germany are going down to the local watering hole and taking off their clothes. It's like grandma, for some other reason, lost her moo-moo and is by the beach shore just naked. I swear, if I had $1 for every naked German I've seen, well, I could afford to go to Oktoberfest, first class, because I have seen a lot of naked German people.
Well, they all come to Spain to get naked, apparently, but now they don't have to. They can.
Well, Spain naked you can't do. You can only do. You can.
Yeah. There's the one spot.
So if you
know, you know.
If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I'm going to share it with you. We call it Peacock Beach. And the reason we call it Peacock Beach is because it's the naked beach, and the only people there are men, and the men want you to see them. So they will come out and they will put their hands on their hips as if they are fluming their plume, and they will stand out, and their penis will dangle in the wind until you. It is the funniest posturing I have ever seen, and it's only on this one little section of the beach where this is allowed. But
right.
There's
a universal. It's like a universal naked man pose, because in Austin we have Hippie Hollow, and every now and then there's like parties out there, so you'll go out and hang out, and it's fine. Like, some people choose to go naked, other people don't. It doesn't matter. Like, but it's always men past a certain age, and it's always the same. It's the same stance. They'll come like right up next to you,
da, 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 da.
hips,
hands on the hips,
spread gently apart.
Just look at what I've got here. Look at my beautiful plumage. It's
fantastic. Congratulations. What do you want from me?
The thing about Peacock Beach in Rhoda is it's in between two normal beaches. So if you're just walking up and down the beach and you don't know you've reached this section of beach, well, you're going to find out.
You will know.
Yeah. Oh, look at, and as I age, my eyesight isn't what it used to be. So I would have to get closer and closer. Initially, I would have to get closer and closer to find out what this person's issue was. Like, why is this person just standing there in this pose like they're waiting to talk to me about something I did? And then I would get closer and like, oh, this person doesn't have any clothes on. And then they would give me a profile and I would get to see all of their glory. And I was like, oh, how wonderful is that? So on Peacock Beach, there's the beach. And then behind the beach, there's all this greenery where things happen in the greenery. Okay, there's a lot of prophylactics in the area of things that have happened, but this is more visible.
Which I feel is risky, because that is where the caterpillars live. And could you imagine?
Yes, you don't want that. Well, maybe that's why they're wearing the prophylactics
on their full body.
Yes. So now, as you come back from the beach, you get into this green section. This green section has a beautiful wooded trail that you can go along, and families go along, and there's a fine line about people kind of who are doing one thing, don't want to be seen, but at the same time they want to be. It's a little weird. So one Saturday morning, I go out for a run. I go out for a long run, and I may have pre-gamed before I started the run. And I stopped at several locations on the way coming back from the run. I think it was like a 14, 15-mile run. But I probably hit 6 or 7 bars, and I may have stayed at the last bar a little too long because I was feeling pretty good after a 15-mile run. And I come into the wooded section of Peacock Beach there, and I eat it. I eat it hard. I tripped over my own feet as I was running downhill and just rolled onto the wood, into the sand, almost into the cactus. I mean, I eat it. I'm hurting. And I try to get up and I try to find my footing, and a peacock starts approaching me. And I remember specifically one body defect of the peacock that was approaching me was he was hooked. He had a distinct hook in the frontal area. And he kept walking towards me to assist me. And like every nightmare you've ever had where you're trying to find your feet and get up, I can't find my feet. And he's coming over to help. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I'm just trying to push him away. And I'm trying to get up and I'm trying to push him away. And he just keeps getting closer and closer. It's like every nightmare I've ever had as the peacock keeps approaching me. And I tuck and roll to get a little further away from him before he can close the distance. I tuck and roll and I get a couple more feet and I'm able to get up to my feet and I dust myself off a little bit and he's still coming at me and I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I was terrified of the peacock who just wanted to help me, but it was that hook that was scaring me more than anything. Is it broken? How does he have the hook that he's got there? How does that happen? When I said I may have spent a little bit too much time at the last bar, so I escaped the peacock and it's Feria time.
Oh.
So I go down to the Feria grounds and I'm lit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm freaking lit. And I get into one of the carts and I'm hurt. And I'm willing to pay the horse-driven cart to take me home. And he won't do it because he's not allowed to leave the Feria grounds. And I'm negotiating with him to just get me further away from the peacock so it looks like I'm leaving on my own. He refuses to do it. And the peacock isn't following me out of the woods, so it looks like I'm running scared from an imaginary thing that isn't even there. Oh, jeez. Oh. Yep, and that's why I'm terrified of peacocks to this day.
Doesn't matter where you are. It's a universal stance. It's a guy thing. Don't understand. Do not want.
Oh, good times, good times. Oh, all right, okay, so I think we started with German people getting naked by the pool, and we ended up with that. You got another headline for me?
I do. Cocaine cat escaped owner will now live at Cincinnati Zoo.
I believe with the release of the movie Cocaine Bear, we're going to see a lot more stories about cocaine animals. And this is confirming my belief. Cocaine cat. Well, if it's in a zoo, it clearly has to be something larger than a house cat.
Oh, yeah, no, it's big.
Yeah. So you got all these people that have watched The Tiger King, and now they have found out that for like the low price of $400, you can get a tiger, and you can keep that tiger in your backyard and get you tickle. So
you studied Tiger King. Everyone has to watch
now
you studied it.
Somebody has a private kitty in their yard and leftover cocaine or
$2 million.
Oh, I didn't know that detail. That makes me afraid to speak any more to this headline because that is clearly a drug cartel, and that's a drug cartel kitty cat. And the kitty cat broke from its pen and started wolfing down cocaine. So Cocaine Bear dies. Who captured Cocaine Kitty? Because Cocaine Kitty...
Hamilton County dog wardens were called at 2 a.m.
I don't know what these award shows do because I don't watch any of these award shows, but if any of these award shows like have a hero of the week, they probably need to put these dog catchers on there because number one, dog catchers ain't good at catching cats. Number two, a lion, tiger, jaguar, whatever, a jagger. I think that's what it Jagger, right? Was last week's episode. Whatever this animal is on cocaine is not going to be an easy catch. What? Oh, you know what? The question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, what's the next cocaine animal to make the headlines? I'm putting my money right now.
Dopamine duck.
What do you say?
What? Dopamine duck.
Dopamine duck. I'm putting my money right now on cocaine alligator.
Oh, I think that'd probably be meth, though. I don't.
No, because there's always cocaine down in alligator country, and
I think it's
they don't want to get caught by the Coast Guard, so they throw the cocaine into the swamp. There's probably been many cocaine alligators already. There's probably an alligator out there. There's probably an alligator out there right now addicted to cocaine and just looking for the next hit. But you want to be alliterative, of course. You want to find something cute. You want what's the speed that they give old people legally?
Adderall.
Adderall. You want Adderall alligator.
I do. Actually. Yeah. So when I was in college, Adderall was just kind of taking off, and it didn't matter if you went to student health services for anything, a Band-Aid, didn't matter. Tylenol. Oh, well, do you need your prescription for Adderall filled? I'm not on Adderall. Would you like to be? They were just handing it out like candy. And then they wonder why we're all so weird.
Yeah, there's clearly nothing could go wrong with that thought process.
Yeah. I can't swallow a pill, so I never really got into any of that. But they were just giving it away.
I think I probably asked you this once before. Have you ever considered snorting your pills?
Tony, I can barely breathe through my nose with my how far up is it going to go?
As far as it needs to go. I find it funny that you're a person who
sneeze it out.
has not starved to death but can't swallow a pill. You can clearly swallow things. You just can't swallow a pill.
Yeah, I know. You don't. I know. No one thinks it's funnier than I do.
Is there a scientific name for this condition? There's got to be a scientific name for this condition. Like being colorblind isn't just being colorblind. There's a scientific name for it. And of course, colorblind is the only handicap you can really make fun of. At least that's what my friends have said for years. And I remember when he was explaining how he was trying to fight a ticket for being colorblind because the curb was yellow. He didn't know it was yellow. Or is that just something blind people say as a last straw defense? If you have kids and you go a period of time without hearing any noise, you start to get suspicious, right?
Yes. Well, I have dogs, and
I have 2 Rhodesian Ridgebacks in this house, and I haven't heard anything in the last 10 minutes.
Go do a check?
I probably need to go do a check.
Okay, I'll go check on my dogs.
Okay, I'm back. They're good. I just needed to make a quick check, make sure they were okay. Looks like everybody's just a little calm right now. Everybody's calm and relaxed.
I don't know if there is a name for someone who can't swallow a pill.
Then we're going to make up a name. You, me, and the audience are going to create the...
pill dysplasia.
Oh. So that doesn't work for me. It's too literal. I need something better. I need oral dysplasia. Well, unless you're taking them via suppository, it's oral dysplasia. Oh, that's right. You tell me what your illness is. You tell me what your quirk is, and I'll come up with the best scientific name for it. Oh, I can't do suppositories. Oh, you could do You can't do suppositories? You just got anal dysplasia. I see that as a future hash name.
Case of buttholes and funholes is what you've got.
The next time I have to name a hasher, if I find out that they're not into butt play, their name's going to be anal dysplasia.
Is that something that you find out?
Oh yeah, so in a lot of little subcultures, you get away from your nerd name, whether it be like an outlaw motorcycle gang or a bunch of people who just run around and drink beer. You find out a lot about those individuals, and then you come up with a name that's only used in the subculture. And so it's in the hashing world, it's called a hash name. You find out lovely facts about somebody, you run them through an interrogative process, and then you come together and you put the best minds to work to give them a name like anal dysplasia. Oh, what a great name. I have a friend of mine whose name is LT Trays, and LT Trays actually stands for testicular tongue trauma. Do you know how much interrogating you got to do to find out that somebody had a testicular tongue trauma?
Yeah, it's like, sounds like many, many nights of PJs and host stories later.
No, it's one beer. You just buy one beer and they tell you how they got the name. It's a great time. I love my hasher friends. I got to get back out there.
Well, watch out for the peacock.
So part of hashing is laying out the trails for the other hashers to follow. And just about every opportunity I got, I ran them through Peacock Beach because they needed to see that.
That's so cruel.
No, it's not cruel. You know what's cruel? Exercise is cruel.
It is time for a resolution rewards update.
We don't spend a lot of time on the resolution rewards update. We just bring you up to date. So far, we are 2 months and 6 days into the resolution rewards program. That's a special program kicked off by the Luns B Show, where we tried to motivate our listeners to complete their New Year's resolutions by having them work with the show and us encouraging them and us taking part with them until one of us almost died. Yeah, we can laugh about it now, right? So still, there was 5 participants in the resolution rewards program. Each of them must submit a activity video every day showing them exercising, and all of them are still in the program. So to Chick Brew, to Tommy, to Chelsea, to Carrie, great job, everybody. You're still doing amazing. Remember, when you're making those videos, try to be a little entertaining. This looks like it may come down to a tie. And if it does come down to a tie, whoever has the best fan base following along is going to win that money, honey.
Did you see Rupert and Granger on the treadmill?
I did, but Rupert and Granger are not in the competition.
Yeah, well, they're cute.
Oh, yeah, they were definitely cute. No doubt about that. All right, so that's
Anything for food.
That's our resolution reward update. How about we move on to the Book of Everything. The Book of Everything, where every week we learn fascinating facts brought to us by a book that it says is designed to blow our minds. And sometimes it does. When we get a fact out of the Book of Everything that is so good, it is unforgettable, is what it is. It's
elephant chins.
Yes, of course.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? All I see is your hair.
I know, I was holding the phone, but I got tired.
Oh, I dropped my pen, and I need to check off the facts so we never repeat them.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, I mean, this book has 1,227 mind-bending facts. And on the back cover, you know, the very first one it talks about, it says, "Did you know cows moo in regional accents?" We do know that because we found out about it right here in the Book of Everything.
Book of Everything.
So every week we give you 2 facts, 2 weird facts. Maybe one of them applies to you, maybe one doesn't. Here we go with the first one. A red blood cell can make a complete circuit of your body. I'm going to let you guess. How long do you think it takes for a red blood cell to make a complete circuit of your entire body?
20 minutes.
She thinks it's 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the time for you to guess. How long do you think it takes a single red blood cell to circulate through your entire body? Do you think it's 20 minutes, or is that too much? The answer after this. No, I don't. If I had a commercial, I do have a commercial. I do. Hey, everybody, it's T-Bone. Did you know you can listen to the Luns B Show on the iHeartRadio app? The team at iHeartRadio has created 2 new features on the app. You can now auto-download to your device and be notified whenever new episodes are released, all for free using the iHeartRadio app. And you can listen to the Luns B Show from anywhere. iHeartRadio. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, now that you've had time to think about it while being entertained by that commercial, 20 seconds.
What?
A red blood cell in your body can circulate your entire body in as little as 20 seconds.
I was right about the 20.
Yeah, good job on the 20.
Measurement. That's crazy. How fast is it moving?
Very, very fast.
Oh, now I have to Google. Tell us the next one while I Google.
I am quietly searching. What was the term we came up with earlier? The dysplasia, oral dysplasia?
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of oral or anal dysplasia, here's your next fact from the Book of Everything. The penalty for adultery in ancient Greece involved hammering a radish into the adulter's bottom with a mallet.
Oh. Radishes can be spicy.
Radishes were a lot longer and pointier in those days.
Oofda.
Yeah. How about that? Wrecked them. Damn near killed them. You get caught adulterating in ancient Greece, and they used a mallet to hammer a radish that was a lot longer and pointier in those days up your rectum. That is your second fact of the day from the Book of Everything. Personally, one I'll never forget. I'm going to keep that one with me just in case for some strange reason I think I'm about to adulterate. I am on the verge of adulterating. What could possibly stop me? Oh yeah, the punishment in ancient Greece.
That would be enough. So red blood cells travel at an average rate of 3 to 4 miles per hour.
Okay.
They're moving.
They are moving.
That's like a jog.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the fan favorite portion of the show. Oops, you're not invited. It's time for Birthday Boost, the fan favorite portion of the show. It's where we choose two of our closest peoples and we let them know how much we care for them by celebrating another trip around this planet together. So we give them a birthday boost. And if you're not good enough to get a birthday boost, and not all of you are, so some of you are not worthy of a birthday boost, then what do you get? Instead, you get the honorable mention. So that's what we got going on this week. As always, Chick Brew, you get to go first.
Well, like in the Navy, you meet a lot of people. They come, they go, and like you're friendly with a few of them, but there's like one or two that you're like, oh, this is someone I will know forever, and you just love them to pieces. My roommate from Bahrain, Victoria Kinney, is getting old. She just joined the 30 club. Joke's on her. Now everything's going to start hurting. But she was the best part about living in Bahrain. She made sure I went to all the spas, took me to all the best restaurants. I got fatter, but I was happy. So there was that. So happy birthday to Victoria Kinney. I miss you, but your life looks wonderful in Guam.
Merely by coincidence, I promise this was not planned in any way, shape, or form. But earlier I talked to you about legendary comedian Bruce Baum. And how lucky I was to become a friend and to get to know him. And I didn't even think about this. So I most recently had my little heart experience, but the last time I really had a heart-like experience, I was with Bruce. It was with Bruce and Jim McClain and a bunch of other great people. We were at the Chiefs Club at NAS Jacksonville. Bruce was in town for whatever reason or the other. I invited him down. We set him up to play golf with some of the local guys. And my intention was also to go play golf the following day. But something wasn't right in my body, and I wasn't feeling good at all. I committed to not dying on the Chiefs mess, on the porch of the Chiefs mess. So I was there. I wasn't feeling very good. I was sweaty and I was balmy and I was having some issues. And I hadn't drank my 2-beer minimum, which I normally drink is just 2 beers. And I was getting ready to leave because I wasn't feeling good. But I wasn't going to go to the hospital because I'm stupid. And one of my friends, I don't remember who it was probably Jim, asked me, said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm just not feeling good." He goes, "Then go to the hospital." And I was like, I don't know if I need to go. He goes, you don't pay for it. Go to the hospital. So I do. I go to the hospital, and they run a bunch of tests on me, and it was just angina. It was nothing big, but we didn't really know it was angina. And I was held over, and the next day I'm supposed to be golfing with Bruce and some other people, and instead they got me scheduled for fit testing and everything like that. Just one of the many experiences I have gotten to share with an iconic comedian from I believe he started in the 70s. I know he was around in the early 80s and 90s and 80s, 90s, and today. He's a very funny guy. He's a genuine guy. I love the man. I love the fact that he would call my house and leave entertaining messages on an answering machine. That's how far back that relationship goes. and somewhere I still have those messages saved because it was just so cool for somebody of his stature to reach back. And we're still actively friends on Facebook. And if he ever makes it out to Pennsylvania, I'll gladly feed him and take care of him. And it's just great to know and love someone you admire and respect. And it's his birthday. And I don't know if I could give a better birthday boost. So Bruce Baum, it's your birthday. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Go, Brucey. It's your birthday.
Who is your second birthday boost?
I'm going to do Miss K, or Miss Komendowski. She was my photo teacher my senior year of high school. And one, she had to put up with me as a senior in high school. So that deserves like every accolade under the sun. But she was like the hardest grading teacher I think I ever had. She never gave 100 on anything. And one of the last photos I turned in, she gave me a 99.5. And she's like, this is one of the highest grades I've ever given. And that was the year she retired. So it was like one of the highest grades she's like, I've given in my 40 some odd years of teaching. And I was like blown away. And I still have the film for that. I still have the photo. We did everything in black and white, developed all our own film there, all our own photos there. But it was like, someone actually took some time. She taught me how to like get the shot I wanted. And then she saw that I bothered because I love taking pictures. So she kind of, I don't know, helped me learn a little bit about photography, made me find something that I love doing. So to Miss K, happy birthday. Hope you're enjoying your retirement.
My second birthday booth goes to Sam Fisher. Colloquially known, that is the hardest word in the English language to pronounce.
Colloquially.
Yes. Colloquially known as DODIC. He is one of those hasher friends that I have met along the way. Man, I don't even know how to say when you're invited into a new group of people and you don't want to push the boundaries of you don't want to be the jerk. You don't want to be the new guy that nobody likes because he's too pushy and he's trying too hard to be friends with everybody. So, whenever I'm included in a new group of people, and I've got a lot of experience doing it, I've been doing it for a very long time, I'm always seeming to be involved in new groups. But this was a new group. This was a subculture. I was invited in, and I don't want to be pushy. I want to kind of find out how things are going, and I never really approached Sam. I observed him from afar, and DODIC is also iconic in the hashing world, and like everybody knows DODIC because he's famous in this subculture, and his videos on YouTube, you can see him running all over the world, and he does these great little summary videos of the runs that he does. I've kind of become closer with him because of Facebook, because I see a different side of him where he's always remembering to say happy birthday to people, and he's always got kind things to say. And the guy that I thought was really cool, but too cool for me to kind of approach, I've learned throughout the years that he's even cooler than I initially thought he was. He is someone everyone should look up to. He's a little bit more advanced in age than I am. He's in incredible shape. Everybody should aspire to be in that shape at any age. One of the cooler people that I know. So Sam DODIC Fisher, happy birthday to you. As always, wishing you nothing but the biggest, the best, and the brightest. Now, who are your honorable mentions?
I got Cheryl Fishman. I've got, my cousin, Nick Anderson. He's out there living his best life. and TJ.
All sound like amazing people. I have A-Aron Gibson. He was the guy who officially signed the paperwork at my re-enlistment where the oath was given by my betrothed. Jeff Swanson, Will Leach, Jacob Irwin, Ray Yates, Michela Termini Hernandez, whose father I've been friends with a very long time and still freaks her out. Jed Cunningham, Chuck Johnson, my own gunny Greg Corvin, and Marah Lynn, all celebrating their birthdays. And of course, this is also very close to the birthday of my father, who unfortunately is no longer with us. So the thing they do now is those heavenly birthdays. And I choose to remember my father specifically on his birthday than on his passing day. So, I love my pops. I miss my pops. And I love all of these people that we're wishing birthdays to. And we wish you all nothing but the biggest, the brightest, and the best. Congratulations on another trip around the sun. Is there anything you want to tease for next week's episode?
Well, I'll give you a little breakdown of what my week is looking like here, right? So we got the Celtic Highland Games. I'm going to watch a bunch of humans try to throw heavy things and not hurt themselves. That will be hilarious. Great Navy camp out. Guess who gets to lead campfire songs?
Who could that be?
Right up my alley. If that alley is dark, wet, and scary. And I have some special visitors coming soon. I won't give too much away, but it's going to be good. There's going to be adventures.
I like teases. And of course, my entire life is a tease, and I'll bring everybody up to speed as that goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for listening. We appreciate you being dedicated members of the listening audience. We do our best to provide you a quality product, so we guarantee you one laugh an hour, and hopefully you found that in this episode. With that being said, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person yesterday, be an even better person tomorrow.
And don't forget that you are loved.
Thank you for listening to T-Bone and Chick Brew. If you enjoyed that show, you should check out the Jerome McClain Show, independent media that won't reinforce tribalism. We have one planet and nobody's leaving, so let's reason together. You can find the Jerome McClain Show at the same place you actually listen to this show. Give it a shot.
If you want a podcast and you want to advertise here, you can do it for free. Just contact me, T-Bone, from the Lunsby Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew.